Yeah.
But I guess I guess the cat's out of the bag. Welcome. But
Well, I mean,
don't worry about
I could delete that stuff. I have.
Wait, are
the
you
power.
actually recording?
Yeah, I am.
Oh my god.
I
Anyway,
have the power to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. At this point, like they just being like, wait, what stuff did get deleted? And then we're just gonna talk about it. In, like,
Well,
a
see,
couple
that's the
weeks
fun
anyway.
part. They don't know what we were talking about. Like, we could have
but
been making fun of them.
by the time this goes up, it's basically going to be live stream time.
I mean, kind of.
Anyway, so hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Read Living the Dream. I'm your host Duhad.
Let's read.
This is Soundspeed. This
Hi.
is Yamston in the chat on silent mode. It's your girl. I don't know. I was gonna say I was like going back and forth on Cabral or Belial, but whatever. It's Cabral.
It's your girl Cabral. Howdy.
It's your girl Cabral, and it's your them be Belial.
My wife laughed at me.
Yeah, and we're reading chapter 125, Ending the Nightmare, the penultimate chapter of part 1 of Living the Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just as a refresher, we're reading through to part 2, which is like 10 more chapters. Part 2 is very short.
Yeah, it's the end of part 1 of Living the Dream, which leads into part 2 of Living the Dream, which is the rapid burnout arc before the like unsatisfying ending, then the several years later posted more satisfying ending, then the several years after that posted epilogue before the several years after that reboot of the entire fan fiction.
Once upon a time, we were almost done with this. Now we're not. So we're still, just as a refresher, just to let you know, I am still tapping out at the end of part 2. Once we finish reading the chapter epilogue, I'm done. So
yeah, because that's like the first new modern thing, right?
Well, that's the last.
The epilogue is the end of the original thing,
okay.
which was written later. It is like much further along Austen writing, but it's not the new Living the Dream, which is Yamston and Kick-Ass coming back and writing it like
holy
as a
crap.
group.
Sorry, I'm seeing all the later chapters down the road, and like there's so many new arcs. Like there's like Fawn's Sonic Adventure arc, there's like the side arc of Sins of the Father, and so on and so forth. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it's I like I said, I'm going to continue reading it, if only just to do reviews of later chapters, because it does seem like it goes some places, and I'm sure our fans would love to know where those places are without having to necessarily read it themselves, at least without forewarning if it's very good or not.
Fair.
Which I'm sure it's great. It sounds like it's great. Anyway, for now though, back to the bad stuff. We open
wonderful. How
with
dare
an
you.
author's note.
Author's note. Sorry, Ironclad. I kind of couldn't figure out how to do that plot idea, so I improvised.
Whatever that means.
Damn.
I think that's in reference to the end of the last chapter, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
Or maybe it's the beginning of this chapter, actually, because it's Frederick is fighting his dad.
Yeah, well, I'm imagining there's probably some sort of like storyline involving like Dark Frederick or something. Where
man, his shadow form.
Whoa, Dark Steel. Is Dark Steel Edge actually? Wait, whose is that?
Darksteel Edge is literally the Sonic the Hedgehog OC that's purple.
Yeah, Cold Steel.
Cold Steel Edge.
Cold Steel the Hedgehog. Yeah, I think
Cold
Dark
Steel
Steel Edge.
the Hedgehog, actually.
I think Dark Steel Edge was definitely a character in Living the Dream, or one of the other bad fan fictions we read.
Dark Steel Edge is either Frederick's alternate form or it's Peter's.
No, Peter's
is Violent Inferno.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Frederick's then.
Yeah. I think it's Frederick. Dark
Yes,
Steel Edge is
Frederick's evil super. Okay.
form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yup, I got it.
All right, this chapter's incredibly fucking long, so let's just
Okay, let's jump right in. Hey, I'm up past my fucking bedtime. Thanks a lot for reading with me yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Frederick brought the swords down towards Richard. Richard held up his talons and caught the blades in his paws, causing a small amount of blood to drizzle down his arms.
I will never understand why his paws. He caught it with his hind legs.
Yeah, I don't know. By the way,
he held up his
Yamson,
talons and then caught it in his foot.
Yamson, I love your artwork, but you misspelled nightmare. Oh no, this is just nightmare, isn't it? It just says nightmare. Actually,
it does say ending the nightmare.
Okay,
you're right.
You're right, Yamson. You spelled it right. It is nightmare. Sorry, I thought it was.
Yamson never makes a mistake.
It was nightmare, but no.
I guess Yamson never misses.
Yeah, Yamson is on top of it. Sorry, I doubted you, Yamson. Can you forgive me?
Yeah. Put some respect on his name.
I'm
Fuck's sake.
sorry.
Yamson's the second most popular host. All right.
Yeah.
He smirked and pulled the swords out of Frederick's grasp and tossed them to the side. Frederick changed his tactics quickly and slammed his head forward, barely missing Richard's neck. Richard laughed crazily as he dodged to the side and grabbed Frederick's neck.
I'm the
He
Joker,
pulled him
baby.
backwards and dug his talons deep into Frederick's shoulder blade.
Haha, you fool! I put a blade on my shoulder.
Yeah.
This is not
your
Baki.
blade is sharp.
This isn't Baki.
Didn't they do like a whole thing at the end of the last chapter where he was like, "Oh, you always did love those swords, boy. Are you gonna fight me with the swords?" And then immediately throws them away.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, Yemsen say he doesn't know what the joke is. The inside joke with nightmare, I think it's literally that it's spelled a bit like neigh mare, like a horse sound and then mare.
Could be. Or he got so high writing this chapter.
Yo. Frederick hissed in pain as he twisted around and slammed his metal-covered hoof into his father's face. The force of the impact caught Richard off guard and caused his head to snap back.
Oh.
Frederick used his magic to pull Richard's talons out of his shoulder and held him up in front of him.
I told you I'd make you pay.
It's just
So okay, that's
Wait, no,
Fred-
is this
no, that is, yeah, I was gonna say, is that Frederick? Is that
Omni-Man.
Richard?
Yeah, it's Frederick speaking. I forgot I was supposed to give him a Boston accent. Like some sort
Oh,
of,
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Boston
yeah.
accent.
He forced more magic onto Richard's arm, causing it to bend backwards. Seconds later, it snapped with a sickening crack.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Richard yelled out in pain and struck out with his one good arm. His talons dug into the left side of Frederick's face, penetrating the metal and smashing through his flesh. Frederick let out a small yelp of pain and forced magic into his horn. He then used that magic to blast Richard backwards, sending him crashing through a few trees.
Ow.
Frederick brought a hoof up to his face and winced when he touched exposed muscle and bone. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus Christ.
That's your skull!
You fucked up my face.
Holy shit. He felt something fall onto his hoof, and when he pulls it back, he almost screams in horror. Because in his hoof was his left eye, completely destroyed.
Why is everyone losing their left eye?
Dude, yeah, Lance on the side is like, come on, man. You're biting my shit here.
Don't worry, I get to make the fucking eyeball this time.
he didn't notice his eyesight was gone until he like the eyeball fell out. It's like the fucking like the slice and then just like haha.
Now
Oh, no,
they
and,
match.
like,
Twin
halves.
See, it's like poetry. They sort of rhyme.
Ah, yes.
Frederick sneezes into his hoof, and he pulls back, and he sees his entire brain in his hand.
I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely thought that's where it was going.
has
It was
to
going to be
have
like
a
he looked at
Chunks
it in
of
horror.
brain.
It was his brain.
That'd be so funny.
That'd be baller.
Richard laughed hoarsely as he tried to stand back up.
Well,
Anything out of his mouth.
isn't it that whenever he laughs, it's hoarsely?
Yeah, because
Nice
he's a
griffin.
horse.
Dude, that's fucking funny because Robert Downey Jr. pointing. That means he's a horse. Frederick glared at him with clear hatred and stumbled forward, blood pouring down his face at a steady pace. Richard took a step forward, but a sudden flash of metal caught his eye as Frederick used his magic to launch one of the discarded swords towards him.
Hey, see, he did eventually use it.
Yeah, that's true. The blade embedded itself in Richard's side, going through his right kidney.
I love the
Damn.
specifics.
Son, I know we've had our disagreements, but I need a kidney.
Oh my god, Val, I need
Only
some
donor.
dialysis!
Wait, are they no longer compatible though? Because he's a
Remember,
Yeah,
Griffin?
whatever.
Frederick, if you ever learn anything from me, don't hold in your pee. You can lose a kidney that way.
Ah, good. Hey, I'll tell you what. Those kidney stones protected me this one time.
The blade kinks off like effortlessly.
How did you avoid my attack? I got kidney stones, son.
My
My
kidney's
kidney
so
stones
big.
are so big.
Pulls him out of
They're
him and like
hard as
chucks him at his
diamonds.
son.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Like a ninja star. Anyway, Frederick then used his magic to pick up Richard and slammed him into the ground. He then brought the second sword up and held it against his father's throat. Richard forced a smile through bloody teeth.
Yes. Kill me if you think you can.
Frederick snarled and lifted the sword.
Oh no, death's too good for you, asshole.
Frederick's horn flared a bright red. A second later, a large pool of molten steel appeared off to the side.
Oh man, is that the new form that he's?
I'm going to turn you into some dark steel, Dad.
Death's too good for you, so I'm gonna kill you.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Nah, that's too good for you. I'm gonna kill you.
Richard looked at it with a horror-stricken face.
You wouldn't.
Frederick lifted him up and swung him over the boiling pool of molten steel.
Oh yeah, dickhead, I wouldn't dream of doing this to a person.
He then glared.
But I don't consider you a person. You're a fucking monster, dude.
He then began to lower his father into the pit. As his body began to enter the liquid metal, Richard smirked at his son.
Did he go feet first? And this is kind of like putting concrete shoes on, or like?
Oh, you can't do this to me. This is brutality. No, father, this isn't brutality. This is fatality.
Dude, what? That's fucking... I know what that is. That's funny.
Like father, I like son.
I love the idea that he's just like bubbling halfway through that statement. Like father.
Like father.
Frederick only clenched his teeth and dropped his father, allowing him to sink into the metal. You would make a good darling. He
You
waited
would
a
make
few
a good
seconds.
darling.
Me and April actually rewatched that or watched that episode recently.
That's
There's
why I
only
reckon
ever
there was
two: a master
watched one
and
episode
an
of Doctor Who.
apprentice.
You watched one episode of Doctor Who and it was a banger of an episode.
It actually wasn't even that one. I just know that quote.
Oh. You would make a good darling.
I watched the
Anyway.
one that came out recently where David Tennant came back.
Oh, okay, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was all right. It was a little cringe.
Did you have nostalgia?
No, well, I was just like, why do people like this? They went all through-
That's
Damn.
really
I just didn't get it. It was
funny.
like a bunch of adults doing baby talk for like 30 minutes. I was like, I don't know what this is. Anyway, with all due respect, great show, I'm sure.
Actually, he's not the 10th Doctor anymore. He's a 14th Doctor.
Fucking continuing.
Anyway, okay.
Realistically, Richard would just float on the top.
Yeah, true.
He
like
waited
a
a few
plastic pool
seconds
toy.
before pulling him out, now encased in a magical type of metal.
Oh my god, it's carbonite.
Yo. He
Only
dropped it
ever
onto the
two.
ground and turned, but only took 2 steps before falling to the ground exhausted.
Ooh, I'm so tired. Who's the weak one now?
He muttered as his horn flared, trying to stop the bleeding.
He's like,
on
oh
his
crap, I gotta
face.
stop this.
He's literally like, I'm so weak. I'm collapsing. Haha. Who's weak now, idiot? I mean, I have to take a nappy. I'm an eepy baby.
This is a new, line break thing.
This is incredible.
Yeah, the little.
Zero, 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 or sorry, 00000 parentheses around.
All I ever
the
see is
little
just,
thing.
there's just a face in the middle and it's just doing this. This is his father's final face as he gets put in the molten
smooching.
lava.
That's really funny, Cabral. I like
Oh
that.
my god. Anyway,
Gyro flew in low as they neared the castle. He could see June trotting around the courtyard, talking to himself. He landed a few meters from the base of the castle and dropped Twilight. When she hit the ground and stood up, he pointed at a window.
listen, Twy. I want you to get inside through that window and find Lance. But when you do, don't do anything. I mean it. I only want you to make a sort of distraction to make them leave the rooms he's in. I'll take care of them once I'm done with June.
Twilight frowned, but nodded her head before galloping off to the window. Gyro twisted in midair and flew towards the courtyard, ready to take out the weakest of the group. His plan was simple. Take them out one at a time.
She's ready to take out the weakest group. His plan was to take them out. The weakest
Yeah.
group.
What's your plan? Win, idiot.
Yeah, dum-dum.
He landed behind a fallen stone pillar and watched as June continued to trot around, chatting to no one. Gyro raised an eye and jumped over the pillar and shot towards June. June's ears twitched and he heard the flap of wings, but before he could turn, Gyro slammed into him. Gyro twisted around as they flew through the air and grabbed June by the neck. He then threw his hoof downward, causing June's face to drag against the cobblestone ground.
Wait, does
Up
Lance still
ahead.
have a bionic eye? Because he gets healed by the holy energy.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Up ahead, he saw a low stone wall. He smiled and flapped his wings harder. Before he reached it, he threw June forward and caused him to slam face first into the stone wall, literally breaking through half of the large stone.
Ooh.
That's a lot of stone.
Gyro forced himself to stop in mid-flight and twisted around and flew back to June. He landed next to him and winced at the sight. June's snout was pressed back a little, bone sticking out of the top of his snout. Many of his teeth were broken or split.
Oh.
June was saying something, but Gyro couldn't hear him. He reached down and picked him up by the mane.
Damn, yo face messed up, bro. Bruh.
Brother!
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 Your face is all messed up.
What the fuck?
Gyro said in his best...
What
Sorry,
the
excuse me.
fuck?
I actually genuinely did not read the rest of that sentence.
Okay, yeah.
Well, do you want to go ahead and do that again? But
Bye,
like,
baby.
The way it's intended to be read is, damn, yo, face messed up, brother.
I have to read for a
Gyro
second. You let
said
baby
his
outside.
Best street voice.
That's my best white boy street voice.
Yeah, you like that? That's like a what, like not fully backwards, like ball cap.
Yeah. So it's Gyro said in his best street voice.
In his best street voice. That's such a funny thing to say. Fuck's sake. He then drug June over to the cliff and just tossed him over it, removing him from the battle.
Wait, holy shit! Apparently, Cardi Yamston, Gyro does not have consciences. This is the
crazy.
version.
I'm sure. Didn't I'm sure they must have brought that up when he was introduced, right? Oh no, Gyro. I thought you were talking about June. Yeah, maybe Gyro doesn't have consciences.
No, June definitely does because he can go into Breaking Dawn for him. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're probably right. That's crazy. Hey, you know what? And it's crazy.
Damn.
Gyro let out a sigh and turned back to the castle and galloped towards it. But someone yelled out, stopping him dead in his tracks. He turned and smiled.
Ugh, finally. Come, everyone. We have a castle to purge.
Twilight pulled herself through the stone window and landed on the other side with a soft thud. She stood up and rubbed her shoulder, which took the full blunt of the small fall. She shook it off and silently moved down the hallway, looking for any sign of Lance. She looked in a few rooms, but all were empty. She was getting annoyed until she heard voices up ahead. This is annoying. Wow, what a waste of my time.
Ugh.
After a few seconds of silent trotting, she came to the large open door and peered in. Inside, she saw Nightmare and Val talking next to a shield. Inside the shield was Lance! She resisted the urge to gallop into the room. She surveyed the room and saw Violent Inferno standing off to the side, talking to a black serpent pony. Or it looked like he was trying to talk to it. She looked back at Nightmare and Val, who were both laughing as Lance glared up at them angrily.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh, he's, Do it now, Val. Give me his immortality.
Nightmare said in a booming voice. Val smiled and pointed his horn at Lance's shield.
Yes, sir.
When Val's horn flared and shot a beam at the shield, Lance began to scream out in pain. His body tensed up and shook violently. This was too much for Twilight to take. What was that?
Infernally. You know, you said violently, so I said infernally.
Violently infernally, yeah.
Legit, it's like Lance screaming in pain, his body like tensing up and then like shaking about violently. I'm literally just imagining him like in like a Gmod model getting picked up by the gravity gun.
It's the sound effects going.
Yeah, it's like the
This was too much for Twilight to take. She couldn't stand back and watch as Lance suffered. She gritted her teeth and stepped into the room, catching the eye of Violent Inferno, who instantly shot towards her. She shot him with a rage-filled stare, and her horn flared a bright white. Inferno stopped in midair and shot upward. His body slammed into the stone ceiling with a sickening thud. They
just killed all the evil brownies real fast.
Just real quick, this is probably the last thing I'm ever going to like genuinely criticize in the reading of this story as we go. But like, he just says like sickening thud or little thud or soft thud, like every time anything makes any noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a lot of thudding.
It's just like a sickening thud, a sickening thud,
I
a sickening
love
thud, a
the
sickening
idea
you know.
Yeah.
that it's like Johnny Test with the whip sound effect, but it's like
Yeah.
a thump sound.
It's a
Bonk.
beginner's
yeah,
like
yeah,
writer thing.
Living the Dream has like a small sound library of sickening thuds of like body crunches.
That's really funny.
That's really funny.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. That was just like a thing that I've noticed like on and off for a while, and like it's just gotten so bad in this like last chapter that I had to put it
Yeah.
out. I thought.
Yeah.
Before he could fall, she threw his body at the serpent pony, sending both of them tumbling.
Down.
She shifted her gaze back at Nightmare and Val, who had stopped the spell and was staring at her.
I knew you'd be here sooner or later.
Nightmare said in a smug tone. Also, yeah, Yamson would like you to remember when Inferno was stronger than every other character, but now Twilight's able to one-shot him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which you can interpret in one of two ways: Inferno getting absolutely nerfed into the ground, or Twilight actually just being really competent, and Lance shouldn't be such a dickhead and like send her away every
Well,
time.
you see what happened is she leveled up after she experienced labor.
So Yamson also mentioned Lance did ask God to keep the bionic eye. I do remember that now. Also, Gyro doesn't have consciences, and I think that's an actual thing that was mentioned earlier in the story, right?
Oh my God, Cabral, I love you, but we literally had this conversation like.
No, I said I'd be right back,
Okay.
and then I came back.
Oh,
Do you think that in that universe his immortality was taken?
Ooh, I think
And
so.
that-
He's got
that
aging
it
going on.
took and that it took them along with it.
I
In
think
that
so.
universe, he gets married to Carrot Top, and he's the guy that smokes weed instead.
He
of
actually gets married to Rainbow
That's
Dash in that
so
universe.
beautiful. That's a beautiful moment. He actually marries Greg in that universe.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
That's true.
it's the alternate dark timeline where only the bronies are cool and all the ponies are evil. So apparently,
Oh,
yeah,
he went to the 3.5G timeline.
Before he could fall, she threw his body at the serpent pony, sending both of them tumbling. No, I lied. Twilight growled and slammed her hoof against the ground, her
Growled.
face
Grr.
alight with rage.
Anger.
Her horn flared again, and she shot a beam out, which hit Nightmare and blew straight through his chest.
Oh, okay.
He winced slightly, but the wound quickly closed.
Okay, sorry, I was showing my place. Ah, thank you, Lance, for being so foolish and giving yourself up.
Nightmare remarked as he smirked. Before Twilight could react, Nightmare disappeared and reappeared in front of her. She gasped and tried to cast a spell, but he reached down and grabbed her horn, cutting her magic off.
Is that how it
Ah,
works?
I've inherited all of Lance's strengths and all of his weaknesses. Now, time to kill Twilight.
You know what would have been a really funny thing? If
Now
he
I'm
takes
your
his
husband.
immortality, and then he's like, no, what are these voices? They're telling me to do stupid things.
Take it back! Take it back!
Take it back! I don't want to live forever.
I would give this story all the points and recommend it to anyone. That I'm like, it's 125 chapters, but it's so worth the read at
payoff
the
is
end.
so good.
Okay. He laughed loudly as he lifted her up and brought her face an inch from his.
You stupid girl! Did you think you alone could face me?
Twilight winced in pain as he jerked her to the side. He smiled and shook his head.
What? Did you think the power of friendship would? Friendship would. One
Friendship
word.
would.
Friendship would.
One word.
Let me tell you this. You were lucky the first time. You may have forced me out of Luna's body, but nothing can stop me in my pure form. That womanly body was just holding me back.
Don't you know, in
Twilight.
this universe, being a woman makes you weak.
Twilight growled and put
Growl.
her hoof in his face.
If you so much as hurt Lance,
You'll do what? Genuinely. Seriously, you just shot me and it did nothing.
He said smugly. Twilight glared at him, trying to come up with a plan. Nightmare laughed.
Holy shit, I didn't think that would be a stumper. Yeah, exactly. Fucking cringe, bro.
I know you are, but what am I? He then threw her to the ground and put his foot on her chest, forcing the air out of her lungs.
oh,
You know, Twilight, I've never seen someone as pathetic since Eligma. He's like,
what's like, but
Goodbye. Oh,
No!
oh, it was so easy.
That's what Lance says too.
He
You're
began
just
to
like
laugh in
him.
a crazy tone.
I've inherited many of his traits.
Imagine if he got to Greg.
Good one break.
Good one, break. Nightmare, don't
Twilight's
you think you're
face.
overdoing it?
Twilight's face turned red as her chest was forced down lower and lower. Kaboom! A bright light filled the room, followed by the sound of a large explosion.
Oh,
Okay, for a second I
sickening
thought she
explosion.
blew up into like mist. Like,
A large thud. Nightmare turned his head to see Lance standing straight up, his hooves and mane aflame. His eyes burned with intense hate and fire. Val was laying next to him, holding his throat, coughing like crazy. Nightmare stopped applying pressure to Twilight's chest and stared at Lance.
oh, this is his stare at Lance. Look, there it is. That's what he's looking like, staring at Lance.
Perfect.
You know
I
that?
so I love the fact that's like we open Living the Dream Part 1, the original saga, with Lance stealing Rainbow Dash's signature move by doing a better Sonic Rain Boom, and we are now ending Part 1 with Lance stealing Twilight's bit from that one episode where she went all white and had fire coming out of her because she was so upset.
Oh,
Classic.
yeah.
Twilight?
Really, this
What's
has
she
been
doing
a
here?
roundabout.
She shouldn't be here.
Damn, she took out Inferno and that black pony.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
That's just the color of his fur.
Hold your fire. This man is
Isn't
not
black.
black.
Yeah, but now Nightmare has her in his grip. We have to do something. Oh, I've got something, but it's dangerous. I don't know how our body will react to it.
Do you mean?
Yes, Holy Breaking Dawn.
Isn't this something that was brought up already? Or
Okay, fucking.
Before it was Holy Dawn.
Oh, Holy Breaking. Oh, it's
Yeah.
combining
Oh, it's-
Breaking Dawn with Holy
okay,
Dawn.
got
Okay.
it. Sure.
Yes, Holy Breaking Dawn. Both of them together.
This is my new super form.
I'm
This isn't
combining
Breaking
the powers
Dawn.
I'm combining the powers of God with the power of Break and Dawn. Your funny
Holy
internal
shit,
voices.
it's Ultra Instinct.
Ultra Instinct.
Do it. I don't
Break
care
can't
about
use holy
myself.
energy. Interesting. Okay.
He will not allow him to hurt her. All right, 1 second. Okay.
I watched his Nightmare said a few things to Twilight. Yeah.
He's just
If
like
he
saying
hurts
something
her-
funny.
He's just in the shield, and all he can hear is wah 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 wah. wah
What do you
wah,
think he's
wah.
saying? I can't understand him.
If he hurts her, he will die. I was staying as calm as I could, till he threw her on the ground and slammed his foot onto her chest.
Whoa.
I instantly jumped to my hooves, ignoring that I had just slammed my head into the shield. Doink. He will die. I began to breath heavily, eyes twitching crazily. I forgot about everything else, just focusing on my intense rage towards Nightmare.
Now.
I yelled out as I forced myself to change into my holy dawn.
Yeah.
But this time, I felt Break slide into control also.
Oh.
As soon as I was fully changed, a sudden shockwave shoot out from my body, completely destroying the shield around me. Time seemed to slow down as Val's head turned towards me, eyes wide.
Oh my god, it is Ultra Instinct.
It is. It is literally just Ultra Instinct.
This
But
so,
you know what?
this
No. Let me
predicted it.
rephrase that. Ultra Instinct is this.
Oh.
You're right. You're
You're
right.
so right. This predates it. I can't believe Toriyama is a hack fraud.
I
I know,
cannot
it's like
believe
that.
that. It's insane what Living the Dream has just like predated and predicted.
Actually, I don't think that's true. I think the anime adaptation of the Ultra Instinct stuff came after, but I'm pretty sure the
Is that true?
That's this point.
Do you think Austin read manga?
That's
well,
true.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess when did Super Manga come out? That was like
Yeah,
2014.
Jamie, can you pull that up, Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie, pull us one up real quick.
Yep.
You know wait, is that's Joe Rogan's?
Yeah. Joe Rogan guy.
Remember when Joe Rogan took the ivermectin?
Yeah, that was crazy. He was
Wow.
he was
He
yeah.
was like, "Oh, hey, Jamie, my balls, they're shriveled."
Wasn't that Nicki Minaj's cousin?
No, it was the
that's
inverse. That
suspicious.
was the.
That's weird.
Remember, guys, ivermectin shrivels your balls. The COVID vaccine makes them inflate like balloons. So you have to take both of them in order to cancel it out.
Here, this is like such a fucking detour, but I'm gonna ask you to just quickly watch this, and we can get back to reading. Oh, fucking
God,
Twitter
what-
embeds. Hold on. Yeah, it is.
Oh, of course.
What-
Did
what-
you mean X and?
Do not you mean X.com?
It's X.
So,
Shit!
No,
Oh
it
my
actually
God.
did come out in 2014
shit.
after the ending of the dream. Holy shit!
That's crazy. Well, Ultra Instinct wasn't in the Battle of Gods, though. Ultra Instinct wasn't introduced. Super Saiyan God was introduced in the Battle of Gods. Ultra Instinct wasn't introduced until the end of the Super manga.
Well, if that's later than Battle of Gods, and Battle of Gods came out after the ending of Living the Dream, then
Yeah. Then
still
Yeah.
irrelevant.
It is.
Genuinely.
So
Living
early,
the
yeah.
dream is inspired.
yeah, inspired
Ariyama.
Dragon Ball.
That's,
Yeah, that's amazing.
crazy.
Anyway,
Okay.
now Break slipped into control.
My hoof shot forward and slammed into his throat, breaking his windpipe upon contact.
Whoa.
As he fell, I turned my attention back to Nightmare and stomped my hoof, causing a loud boom to be heard. He
fine
turned,
boom.
a look of shock on his face. Shut up. I began to breath in heavily and pointed at him.
Get off of her!
He looked down at Twilight, who was struggling to breath, and smirked.
How about this? You turn off that little power.
Boom! He suddenly flew off of her and slammed into the wall with a loud crack. I looked down at Twilight and pointed to the door.
You get out of here!
She wheezed and nodded. Yeah, okay. She was like, "Okay, big man, you can take it from here. I'll leave."
Oh my god, it's the Krillin moment.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at
Get outta
Nightmare
here
and waited for him
before
to
his
stand.
son-
Gohan, where should we? The ship? The ship!
He looked at me and just smiled.
Trying to sneak up on us. See?
I spun around and slammed my hoof into the serpent's pony's face, instantly smashing through its face. It stumbled back, head missing. It stopped.
What even was this fucking snake?
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I think he used
It
to be the
stopped.
old assistant that we had a fun time with to, like, Nightmare. No, he was the leader of the cult, actually, right?
Dissolved.
Same brony insert. Some
some-
brony self-insert. Oh my
Files.
god!
Oh, sludge.
But
Wait,
never-
really? Was it a Brody?
Scrubber snake was someone's fucking Brony Soda insert character who just got absolutely destroyed without ever being introduced properly.
I do love that Austin's just so willing to kill off characters and just not give a care about some of them.
No, that is
my
not true. He has like not killed fucking anyone up to this point. Like he even had fucking Cody come back with a redemption arc, but this random snake just gets absolutely just.
No, he's based because, you give him your character and he just does whatever the fuck he wants. And
Yeah.
that's just like, the end of it.
Where's
baller.
Louis?
Yeah, even Louis had like that
Louis
one
comes back.
chapter, like
I know, he
100
comes back.
chapters later, where he actually shows up for half a second.
Hey,
Yeah.
the snake might come back as an angel. You don't know
That's
that.
true.
But what about, like, Aaron?
Like Aaron went on his adventure. He got a bunch of stuff. It's just like no one ever dies. They just sort of disappear from the story.
I consider that dying. Who was that one guy that walked all the way to Manhattan for nothing at all?
That was Aaron. Was
that Aaron? Okay.
Yeah.
What about Dila?
No, that's Zane.
Oh, that's
Zane.
Zane. Oh, okay. Thanks, Yanston.
I forgot about Zane. I forgot his name.
I think Dila was actually like just an actual OC that like he just got bored of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, remember, he said that he saw an OC exactly like that in a different story and he liked it, so he just stole it completely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
which is very
Uh,
fun.
It is very
That's
funny.
good.
Moving on.
All right.
Uh,
Anyways,
okay.
I spun around. I was and
I spun around. No, I didn't. Violent Inferno flew towards me and slammed his right hoof into my face. I only growled and grabbed his hoof and twisted it backwards, breaking it in two places.
Oh, wow.
He yelped in pain as I
Wow.
twisted him around and wrapped his broken leg around his neck.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Damn you,
edgy.
vile woman!
That's dope. I looked over at Nightmare. I
Nightmare.
looked over at
Ooh.
Nightmare as I held Inferno.
I would never kill another person or pony. As far as I'm concerned, I still haven't killed anyone.
I pulled Inferno's leg to the side, breaking his neck,
I'm pretty sure you killed him.
Yeah, now
dropped
you
him.
just killed this dude.
and turned
He
to
might
face
be dead.
Nightmare.
I don't see you guys as people. You're a human. I see you as a plague. I feel no remorse for my actions here.
I took a step forward.
As an angel, it's my job to protect others from the plagues that is evil. And if killing all of you is the only way to do that, then that's how it's going to be.
This is a Doom Guy origin story.
Can Lance become a fallen angel and join the Devil's Army?
Apparently.
No, but he's fighting
Yeah,
evil.
he's
Okay.
just an angle. He's here to do vengeance.
No, I know. I was just curious though. If, like that could be a course Lance could go down.
Oh yes, he can. Apparently, he can prestige class into fallen angel.
Oh, okay.
He's a
Basically,
alright.
paladin.
I love this Bible
Nightmare
lore.
laughed, a bit nervous.
Oh, okay. You can't actually kill me though. I have regeneration, dipshit.
He then smirked.
Besides,
He suddenly disappeared and reappeared, holding Twilight.
I got your wife, idiot. I know your weakness. Fuck you.
I growled in complete anger and shot forward with intense speed. Nightmare tossed Twilight at me, laughing evilly. I stopped in mid-flight and caught her.
Wait, why would you just throw her?
Go on!
Here, have her back.
Hostage.
My
I'm gonna
one.
throw it at you.
I stopped in mid-flight and caught her. Bad move. Very bad move. Nightmare appeared behind me and slammed both of his hands into my head, causing me to drop Twilight. We did like the Sherlock discombobulate.
Discombobulate.
Oh, you would do anything to protect her, huh?
Let's see. Where, yeah, hold on. Where did we go? Fuck.
Killing Twilight.
Okay, there we go.
kills
He
Lance
said with a
and
happy
kills
tone.
Nightmare.
He then grabbed my right wing and picked me up.
Oh, you're such a fool.
He then put his other hand on the base of my wing and pushed down. I screamed out in pain, trying to regain control of my actions.
Fuck, someone said.
Oh crap! It's Shadow Breeze. I did his
holy
voice a
shit,
long time
Shadow
ago. I don't know what he sounds like. Oh, he's Australian. That's right. Lance.
somehow,
Like,
Someone yelled out. Before I could look up, a loud tearing sound echoed through the room as my wing was separated from my body.
That happens sometimes.
I let out a loud scream of pain as I fell to the floor, a searing pain shooting through my body.
Crikey, you bastard!
Someone yelled out. I looked up lazily to see Shadow Breeze. I don't know if lazily is the right word for that. I looked up lazily to see Shadow Breeze shot over me and slam into Nightmare. I turned my head and saw him slamming his hooves into Nightmare, breaking bone with each hit. But thanks to my failure, Nightmare's body just healed the wounds as soon as they happened. He laughed and grabbed Shadow by the torso and slammed his head into his.
Oh,
Shadow's body went limp as Nightmare tossed him to the side.
Shadow.
Fluttershy is here. Fluttershy screamed out.
Fluttershy.
Yeah.
Somehow Fluttershy has appeared.
I'm here to stop you,
I'm here to stop you, Shadow.
I quickly looked back to see Applejack holding back Fluttershy, who was trying to get to Shadow. Hold me back, Applejack. I'm gonna go crazy on this guy.
hold me back, Applejack. I may go buck wild.
I saw Twilight standing. Standing amount them.
Oh.
She's a
Thank
horse.
God! She was smart enough to get away from me and Nightmare.
Come on, Craig. We have to get Lance back up.
I'm trying, Dawn. It's hard. I'm trying to keep the pain from spreading.
I don't know if you can keep pain
Who's
from spreading.
next?
Nightmare asked as he looked at my friends.
Me.
I yelled out as a sudden surge of energy shot through my body. I shot upwards and slammed my hoof into his jaw, sending him flying backwards. I quickly turned to face the others.
Twilight, you have to use the elements on him.
She gave a quick nod and turned to Rainbow Dash.
Where are the elements?
Rainbow Dash's eyes widened as she looked around.
Oh, fuck, where are they?
This is literally
That was
the
like my
fucking
whole
silence
job.
that's gonna result.
Hey, over here, idiots.
Oh,
Nightmare said, holding up a box. My eyes widened. He has the elements!
He can't use them though.
Lance, follow me.
Gyro yelled as he shot ahead and flew towards the Nightmare. I winced as I tried to flatten my wings and felt the broken bone poke at my flesh. Instead, I just galloped towards Nightmare.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't you have one rip off of you?
It's like I tried to fly with my missing wing.
I could hear someone else running up behind me, but I focused on Nightmare. Gyro reached Nightmare first and made a grab for the box. Nightmare pulled the box back swiftly and grabbed Gyro with his free hand.
Okay, I'm imagining like a
Keep away.
Charlie Brown situation.
With the football.
Oh, shit. Sounds like you got a Spark the Electric Jester thing. I just noticed. That's cute.
I gotta. Oh yeah, well he's Jolteon.
Oh, yeah.
April just missaw her icon and thought it
I
was Spark
see.
the
I'm
Electric
sorry.
Jester.
I'm really sorry I disappointed you.
Not sponsored, of course.
Not sponsored. He then used his claws to dig into his sides, drawing blood on each side.
Yeah.
Gyro winced in pain and made another grab for the box. Nightmare twisted Gyro around and tossed him towards one of the windows. Before he could turn back around, I slammed my hoof into his gut and grabbed the box out of his grasp. But before I could turn and run, he grabbed my burning mane and slammed my head into his knee. I tossed the box to the side and pushed forward with my back legs, slamming into him again. He grunted and reached down and grabbed my waist. He lifted me up and slammed me head first into the stone floor.
There's so many slams.
Yeah.
Slam.
Well,
It's
there's no like,
slamming and
smashing.
wincing and shots, and like
you
that's
think
it.
that they would do like smashing, crashing, more,
This is the
more
type of thing
things
where like whenever I go back and do edits on my own work, I'm like usually like, oh, that's 2 slams. I should change one of these to a different like word.
Mm-hmm.
That would imply that Austin like went back and actually read this after he wrote it.
True.
Yeah.
Stars filled my vision as he slammed my head into the floor again.
Up. There he is.
Yo, Nightmare!
I heard someone who could only be Omnius yell out, barf.
Bonkers.
Nightmare and I looked towards the voice. Nightmare gasped in shock while I wheezed in victory. Omnius had grabbed the box after I had thrown it and taken it back to the
Yo,
girl.
everybody, the real hero of the story is here. Omnius, I'm here to save the day.
Dude, he should have just showed up and been like, well, listen to me, girls. You don't need those elements. I've got the Traveler's badges.
Oh my god.
Couldn't
I
Omnius
would-
have killed Nightmare by
It would
himself?
it would be fucking hilarious, like terrible, but fucking hilarious. Of like this whole thing is like they're getting beaten up, they're fighting over the element stuff. Omnius just shows up, immediately kills Nightmare.
That'd be
It's like
really
you all
funny.
need to get good. Haha.
I looked up at Nightmare and forced a smirk.
You're so fucked.
I then twisted, breaking out of his grasp. There's something funny down here. Holy
Oh,
shit.
I see.
And
it.
I
jumped
can't.
towards him.
I saw it, but I'm not acknowledging it.
Yeah, I will not acknowledge it. It's kind of impossible not to see it when you scroll to it. Okay, well, where was I? Okay, I then twisted, breaking out of his grasp, and jumped towards him. But instead of slamming into him, I swung around to his back and latched onto him.
Do it twice.
I yelled out, using all my energy to hold Nightmare in place.
Oh, it's the Piccolo
I didn't
scene.
see them,
Yeah.
but I could hear the elements coming to life. Seconds later, I heard them fire. I looked up and saw the beam of rainbow magic hit the ceiling and arc straight for me and Nightmare. Seconds before it hit, I jumped backwards and watched as the beam slammed into Nightmare and began to swirl around him.
Thank
He
God he
yelled
got
out.
out.
Oh man, it would have been way better if it was engulfed Nightmare.
Yeah.
He yelled out and tried to get out of it, but it closed in on him and forced him to stay put. A second later, they swirled upward into a mini tornado.
By the way, there's a little bit of
Yeah.
animation is stunning.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
funny.
Put this one in the episode because this is gonna be great.
Please
yeah.
do.
I usually put any art
Yeah.
that's in any chapters in the episodes.
Yeah. But also,
Minor seizure warning.
I love the fact that like this is it's like Lance is like, oh man, I gotta dive out of the way before the power of friendship engulfs me. All my evil will be like
Yeah, he would have been
burnt
fine.
away and leave me as a skeleton.
Break disappears. Break? Break, where are you?
I watched
Who
as
do
it
you,
slowly
who do you
died
think
down.
took your boob?
I watched as it slowly died down. And as it disappeared, I saw the stone form of Nightmare, a look of horror on his frozen face. I smiled as I stood up and stumbled slightly towards Twilight and the others. The girls were currently trying to stand up, exhausted from using the elements. I don't remember them having to get exhausted in this show.
Well, that was before they were nerfed in the female patch.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
They were all on their fucking period or something, right? Right, fellas? Anyone?
Yeah.
Omnius smiled at me, and he quickly ran past me to help Shadow and Gyro. I stumbled over to Twilight and collapsed, finally allowed to rest. I forced myself out of my angel slash, word slash, by the way, breaking dawn form, and began to pant loudly.
We did it, Dawn.
Yes. Together.
Oh no, don't you get all hug happy on me, you little...
Come on. I
Root.
think this calls for it.
Fine, but a quick one.
Mwah.
Break and Dawn quickly hugged each other and broke apart, acting naturally. Twilight sat up and looked over me.
Lance. Your wing.
I closed my eyes and whimpered despite myself.
No.
She placed her horn to it and sent a small surge of energy through my body. I felt the pain recede as she stopped the bleeding and closed the wound.
Thanks.
I muttered, tears still rolling down my face. She put a hoof on my back and gently rubbed it.
Don't worry, Lance. We'll get you a new wing. They make new ones now.
Johnny, you dropped your face.
What you doing?
I'll get you a new one. I opened my eyes and smiled weakly.
Well, really?
She nodded and leaned down and nuzzled my cheek.
Yep, I promise. So, do the powers not go back to him, or are they just still with Nightmare?
I don't know.
I don't know. Why did it...
I assume they're locked with Nightmare because Austin wanted to get rid of the powers because they kind of made the story a
Why
little bit.
was Nightmare...
They're
Wasn't
gone.
he already immortal?
No.
Doesn't, I guess not. Anyway, but Yanton
He's
says they're
double
gone.
immortal. I don't even need it. Don't even need
it.
That is actually probably the best way you could have gone about doing that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
but-
the energy.
Getting rid of Lance's powers is probably a really smart decision long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I forced myself to sit up and looked at the girls, who were all looking at the carnage of the previous battle. They were like, well, who is that like pile of goo over there?
Yeah.
I looked over at the girls, and then Omnius, one of the girls, said,
That's so true. Hey, Lance, where's Val?
Omnius yelled out. I pointed to where he'd fallen, but raised an eyebrow. He was no longer there. What happened to him? I know for sure that I broke his windpipe. I'm sure you can't live after that.
Strange.
I've literally had my windpipe crushed, you fucking nitwit.
No, he
I
has
broke
two
his leg.
windpipes.
He's gonna die.
He has
come on.
like two windpipes. Don't worry.
I've never killed anyone, so I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I've never killed anyone, but I did kill the dickhead version of my friend. That's the one murder I'm allowed.
It's different. It's your friend, you know.
I sighed and looked up Twilight.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Omnius?
sorry, it's strange.
Yeah, I already read
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Omnius remarked as he lifted Shadow up.
footage.
Omnius remarked as he lifted Shadow up and helped him walk over to Fluttershy. I sighed and looked at Twilight.
Twi, can you do something for me?
She smiled and gave a nod.
What is it?
I smiled and forced myself to stand, only grunting a few times.
You have to allow me to take you on a real date tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Lance,
This is a bit fast.
Lance, your
yeah,
friends are
yeah.
half
For a
dead.
few weeks.
Can we...
Yeah, they go into fucking Ponyville to get, like, dinner, and it's just everyone who worked the restaurant's dead.
Mass grave.
Lance, half the restaurants are destroyed. Ponyville's in shambles. Look, Twi, I need to go on a real date with you. Look, can we
fine,
wait
go
like
to
a week and a
Canterlot.
half?
I have to bury all my friends.
Applejack's grandma died.
She giggled and put her nose to mine.
I can do that.
I smiled and rubbed my
They
nose
live in
against hers.
Canterlot. Forget about Ponyville. You know what? You're right, Yamson.
True. Literally, if I don't see it, who cares?
Yo, excellent.
Applejack.
Hi, lovebirds. If y'all are done, we have some work to do.
Applejack called out, causing me and Twilight to chuckle.
We'll resume later.
I said as I turned to see what I can do to help.
I'll hold that to you.
Twilight remarked as she trotted past me. I smiled, but frowned when I saw my dismembered wing a few feet away.
Oh.
I can't believe he ripped it off.
It could have been worse. Much worse.
I smiled sadly.
I know. Could have been my dick.
Section added circa 25 AB after popular demand.
What is AB? Is that after...
After Brony?
Oh.
Hold on, Yamson's explaining.
It could be
yeah,
after Bronies.
No, it does say for after
Brony.
Brony. How did you do
Brony.
that? You really lined that up and just sunk it immediately.
That's pretty
Good job.
baller.
Slight spoiler, All of Living the Dream is a book written by Lance long after these events. That means every typo is canon.
Oh, that's so good.
That's really funny, actually.
That's pretty baller.
Epilogue. Hours after the battle, smoke still rose from what little remained of Ponyville. Every single living resident had been evacuated thanks to the efforts of France and Led.
But what about the
Oh,
dead one?
France?
Oh my gosh!
Holy shit.
France and Led.
Okay, I can't.
believe France did that.
Of Lance and Frederick.
Don't scroll down. Try to keep just to the text.
Okay. Leaving only an empty town to smolder as the
Stop dying,
night
Jill.
wore on. The heroes of the night, Lance and his friends, had left for Canterlot to rest after the night's events, opting to spend time with their families. Yet, long after the last pony left the town, some rubble began to shift. With a grunt, a hoof breaks through debris, followed by a small filly pulling. This is fucking fun. Pulling herself free.
Oh my god. they did it together.
Literally, I know this because you're giggling and you're like, don't scroll down, and it's a filly in the rubble after everybody said they're going to the family.
Lance
So
goes back
obviously
to spend
fun.
time with his family. Billy emerges from the rubble.
That's some funny shit.
That's
like a
really
post-credit
funny.
scene.
Was this written like recently? Like, did he come back in and put this here?
I'm assuming that there's like the
This
the
has to be
meta
a little
joke about
after.
it being like
Well-
like part of like written by Lance.
It was written yesterday.
I was gonna say, I immediately noticed like the writing just took a shift. I'm like, what
They're
happened?
Like, wait, hold on a moment. This is like quality?
Yeah. All right. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
the fact that
Also,
like, let me again, the sentence you just read. Yet long after the pony left the town, some rubble began to shift. With a grunt, a hoof breaks through the debris, followed by a small filly pulling herself free. Like the writing there is so different than what we just read.
Yeah, the rubble was not moved with a sickening thud.
With the sickening thud, a hoof breaks through the debris.
She was dirty and covered in bruises, but she was alive. Exhausted, she looked around, expecting to see her family looking for her. However, all she saw was the rising smoke in the bodies of those who perished during the fighting.
Who voiced Fawn? I cannot remember the last time we.
You voiced Fawn.
What did I do? Do you remember?
It was just your kid voice.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think it's like a higher pitched Vaporeon, basically. Hello,
She called out.
Mom, Dad, Spark.
No answer came her way as she lowered her head. After some time, she began the long and grueling walk to Canterlot, limping as she went, refusing to believe she'd been forgotten about. Clearly, they were still looking. They just took a break. Right?
Okay.
Gee,
Like it is. Oh my god, you have to change the profile. The Yams's profile picture is literally.
Oh,
fucking
that's
Oh,
so
yeah, it
fun.
is.
I love this artwork. Oh, this background's
That's
gorgeous,
so
Yamson.
funny.
I love
That's
That
the.
is-
great.
That is beautiful. Though also, I love the fact that it's like, okay, like to be fair, it's like Fawn is like, they couldn't have forgot me. Like it's so sad, right? But like, here's the thing. She started walking back to Canterlot. She's not waiting around for them to look for her. She knows. She knows they forgot her. And it's just like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm going to keep telling myself this because it'll help me sleep at night. But I know that the only way I'm getting to sleep in a bed tonight is if I start walking all the way to Canterlot.
Crazy. That's so funny.
That's
And it
hilarious.
is totally true that, like, if that were not added, they literally did, like, walk off into the sunset and never for a moment think about, like, Spark or Fawn or Kara, even. Like, where are they?
Oh, that's
Oh,
so
Kara's
funny.
vibing.
He
Like,
wrote
they-
this
they-
yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, like, I
really
think there was like the
fucking
bit they were saying like there's like, oh, Twilight, you gotta like get out of here, like take Spark and Kara and like get to Cape Canterlot. They just fucking forgot Fawn. So like, yeah, Fawn has just been like canonically would have been forgotten in the dust and the rubble.
So,
One of the
do we
things-
want to read end of part
Yes, we're
one?
going to read the next one because it's 500 words and it's
Let's just we'll combine into this. It's literally super tiny.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. Like this episode is going to be the end of part 1 of Living the Dream. So we're gonna do this real fast.
Yeah, we'll do this, but I really quickly want to say one of the enjoyable things about reading Living the Dream, and that's hard to say, is how canonized things that we're just saying have now just, we've made things canon because of just our little giggles and laughs and like our little funny quips.
Our haha funnies.
We did accidentally leave our fingerprints all over this shit.
We
so sorry
literally
about that.
did, and I'm sure it's
And
everywhere in the new stuff.
Years. We better have let our fucking
I
fingerprints.
guess that's true.
Also, Yevson says apparently he had to ask Austin to wrap up the Forgotten Fawn plot because it just never happened in the original.
Well, you did a good job. That was really funny.
Also, after multiple chapters of Yamson's absolutely beautiful artwork, we get an end of part 1 Living the Dream title card by
classic
the
one.
man himself, Kick-Ass 222, your mom. I fucking love it.
Part
so beautiful.
2.
Okay, actually, so here's my question. That shining armor vector is definitely not from the show, so it's lifted from some like fan artist online.
Yeah, it's definitely stolen.
Lightning has had his vectors that he made like way back in 2011, 2012 stolen like a million times. There's a non-zero chance he made this.
Beautiful if it was lightning.
If this was Lightning
we
Rabbit,
need
that'd
to
be
send
so
this to
fun.
Lightning and find out.
Two
Here's the
notable
thing.
places that Lightning Rabbit's vectors have ended up are one on the Nightmare Nights convention website without his permission, and then the other place it ended up was on the Prego Apple Bloom YouTube channel.
Jesus.
Amazing.
The brown pony is Star Chaser, who's a carbon copy of Frederick, of course.
Why is he hanging out with Fawn? I don't know.
Why is Fawn here? That's
This is the official art for part 2. Everything in it will be involved at one point in the story. Also, this is called End of
Oh,
Part
also,
1.
you missed first off. Sorry, I forgot this picture.
Yeah,
So I had to
let me try it
unpub-
again.
Okay.
Let me try this again. End of part 1 of LTD. First off, sorry, I forgot this picture, so I had to unpublish it for a minute. Beautiful part 2 image. This is the official art for part 2. Everything in it will be involved at one point in the story.
So we have sad Gyro with both wings. We have shining armor existing. We got Fawn and apparently Frederick's owner demanding that his self-insert child character date this child. So that's a good sign. And finally, an unmarked grave. Presumably,
oh man,
the
I love this. The
So
most
wait, Star
crunchy
Chaser?
JPEG of a grave.
Star Chaser's one of the two twins, right? One of Frederick
Yes,
Lumina's kids.
one of Frederick Lumina's kids. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to assume for now that this is the unmarked. Wait, this is also. This is all these will be involved in the incredibly short part 2 of Living.
Yeah, actually, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that was part 1 of Living the Dream. And what a way to end it. A final battle against Nightmare. My best work, if you ask me. Now to get this...
I mean, okay. Compared to the rest of Living the Dream,
it's no Heat part 1, I'll tell you that.
I want to ask Austin if he still thinks.
Who stands by that? Now, to get things straight. No, this is not the end of Living the Dream.
Damn it.
It is merely the end of part 1 and the beginning of part 2. The story will continue on from this point, but set a few months later. I know what I said. Part 2 was going to be all about Spark and set after the death of Lance and Twilight. Well, that's now been changed over to either part 3 or 4. Wait, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this if he's still alive as of like part 3 or 4.
Wow.
yeah.
Each
It's
part
like
is
Goku. It's like Goku, you know. It's like they wanted to make it Gohan, but
And
then
it didn't work out. He's like, I didn't like it, so I brought
stop
Goku
bringing
back.
Goku.
Yeah.
Each part is over 120 chapters, so don't worry about this ending very soon.
Oh, it
There
doesn't.
is
Let's
at least
see
a
here.
nugget of truth in that.
Yeah.
Almost
Almost none of this carried over. Thanks,
I
Gibson.
believe that the next part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chapters long.
Wow.
Okay, so like
129 chapters.
like
Not the same.
8% ish.
Yeah.
You know, he was getting there. So don't worry about this ending very soon. Now, the point of this chapter, or post, is to summarize what happened after Nightmare Night. Pretty much just telling you all what happened, not much detail. This leaves much room for later plots. I think that covers everything. So now for the summary. Summary of events since Nightmare Night. This is the where are they now for part one of Living the Dream.
Wouldn't it be incredible if, like, the Lord of the Rings, like the Two Towers ends, it's just like, hey, so this is part 2, the end of part 2 of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The next one will be just as long. It's going to be taking place after Frodo and Aragorn and everyone else is dead. But here's a quick summary of what everyone got up to.
Isn't that the Silmarillion?
No, the Silmarillion's like the backstory.
It's like the ending of
The Hobbit.
Promised
That's what
Neverland.
happens
No,
at the end
Promised
of The
Neverland.
Hobbit. Oh God.
Yeah,
I
the
did
anime
watch-
ending of
I-
Promised Neverland. This is what this
See,
is.
I never watched the anime. I read the manga because I'm a Giga Chad. Like,
Oh.
This is just the end of the Breakfast Club.
Anyway, sorry.
Don't you?
No
Forget
singing.
about me.
No singing.
Okay. Summary of events since Nightmare Night. It's been 7 months since Nightmare Night. The date is sometime in May. Okay. I guess it would be if it was 7 months later.
I like how before it's like
I love
the next
all
part's
the-
taking place a few months later, and then like the first bullet point, it's been exactly 7 months.
If it's been 7 months since Nightmare Night, which is 31st of October, then surely it is then the 31st of May. So, okay. All the couples got married. It's 5 months, and they've been through a lot. Only makes
That's
sense.
so quick.
That is the biggest cop-out bullshit. Are you
They're
serious?
all got. If it was the year
Wait, so-
later, you're like, okay, whatever. But it's
Great
like
Pipe, Berry
literally like,
Punch,
it's
and,
been a few months.
Minute.
They're all married now.
Wait, hold up. It is the next part takes place 7 months later. They have been going for 5 months. There is now a time jump that is longer than the entirety of Living the Dream between part 1 and 2.
That's
Or it's literally
insane.
living the dream Shippuden.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. I think I photoshopped a Living the Dream Shippuden.
Also, yeah, almost none of this matters, so that's good.
I'd also like to say that that means that Silver Charger and Trixie got married, which is awesome because his wedding was just like, I gave her the ring to wear on her arm.
God, Jesus. Oh, okay.
Lance loses his other wing in an. What? Okay, hold on. Wait.
Whoa.
Let me back it up. I've read that way too fast.
Bro's no better than Earth Pony now.
Lance loses his other wing in an accident and gets 2 prosthetic wings to replace his old ones. Also,
Okay.
Lance's bionic eye was fixed to look just like his other eye.
Okay.
What accident did he lose his other wing in?
Honey, have you seen my scissors? Oh, no.
He wakes up and it's like.
Fawn was really upset that she didn't get picked up after all the rubble.
The kids are up to no good again.
He's like missing all his limbs and wings. Honey, where are the kids? They taken my limbs again.
It's the Family Guy bit where he like leans down between the hammers to pick up the hat and like it just gets his face smashed. But it's like, his wing. Lance goes through a few troubling events, which causes a slight mental problem. Guilt.
Okay.
That's really vague.
Very vague.
Mr. Bleak is still shying away from Audrey.
Okay.
Mark ran off to the big
Who's
city.
Mark?
Mark is his brother.
Mark is also gone.
Okay.
Markiplier?
Well,
You gotta worry
Oh
about
no!
the Kennewa gangs.
He's gonna have to worry about the game.
Mark ran off to make a movie about a big indie game. Zane is
Mark
still
Greenfield.
gone.
Okay.
Mark.
Yes, it's like his brother.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
His
Zane
brother
is
became
still
a
gone.
streamer.
Sweet. Ditzy is pregnant.
Oh.
Okay.
Cody, you're having a kid.
Yes, finally!
Yeah,
I've always
let's go,
wanted to be
Cody.
a dad, dude.
That's baller.
Ditzy did have a child, but like a decade after this part in the story, that means this child was a miscarriage. Okay, well that
Yeah.
means naturally you've done Lost, but with those characters, right?
Yeah. Of course, Yamston has. Yamston's no coward.
Well, Yamston, if not, you have to now.
That's a big opportunity in the Living the Dream meme art market. Frederick now wears a large eye patch over the left side of his face.
I like the idea it's a comically large eye patch that covers his entire, like, half his face.
Yeah.
Spark still can't figure his feelings for Nova out.
Mhm.
2 new bronies showed up.
Okay.
Okay, just
Oh,
2
who?
new characters.
Wait, hold on. Did they were they already there, or did they just no? They don't.
Yes, it says no, they don't.
Okay,
So,
well, I
Phantom
like the
bronies.
idea. I like the idea that they died. They
The two
almost
lost fly
immediately
marks.
died.
They
So-
showed up, but they were like in a completely different part of the world, and
Sa-
they never meet or learn about anyone
Yeah.
else.
AR and Delta show up and just instantly die.
God. Toby is still in love with Lance. Creepy.
He
Alright.
forced himself on
Yeah,
the Lance.
Yay.
Lance was forced to fight a weed monster that got out of Greg's lab.
Okay.
Why didn't you save that for a chapter?
That
It would
sounds
have
like
been
an exciting
hilarious
chapter,
if that-
actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Greg is starting a business. That can't be good.
These feel like they're out of order. It's like Greg has a lab now, and he fights a giant weed monster there. Also, he's started a business. He has a lab.
What if his business is stopping the weed monster and then letting it back out and getting the profits?
Wow.
That's very smart. The town of Ponyville is currently trying to rebuild itself.
Rebuilt.
Also, its population is also
itself.
trying to rebuild itself.
Lance's in Twilight's house was rebuilt to look exactly like it did before. But this time, it's only Lance and his family. Okay, so
Kick
T-Law's out.
Twilight.
See ya.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Oh my god.
Rainbow Dash had the twins. The names are unknown till David tells me what he wants them to be named.
That's funny.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Gamston, does this pregnancy stick?
Does that track with the previously established rules regarding pregnancy times in this story, which I thought was a point of contention?
I don't know. Oh, they're Azure, Moon, and Lightning.
Oh, Lightning Rabbit, Zero's okay.
Oh shit.
Chibi has opened an art gallery full of art he has drawn.
Nice.
That's Chibi Makoto or Masamoto or some shit like that. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
Boo.
More has happened, but will be revealed later.
Whoa.
There you have it. The summary of the last 7 months in Living the Dream. I will start part 2 tomorrow.
Okay.
Also, part 2 will take place on this story. I'm not creating a whole new story for it. I hope you enjoyed part 1, and I hope you all enjoy part 2.
Part
I
one.
hope you all will enjoy part 2.
Top
Living the
comment.
Dream.
Wait, who is Zane again?
Okay, I was doing it.
Dude, who is it?
Okay, never mind. That's fucking great. That's incredible. But yeah, join us all for part 2 of Living the Dream. 120 chapters, 1,000 years, living the dream. Let's go. We'll see you guys for more soon, and hopefully very, very soon we'll let you know when the big live stream that will be closing out this grand adventure in group reading Living the Dream will happen.
Yeah, exciting.
Very
Goodbye.
exciting.
Woo, bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye.